Hello students, in today's session we will learn about the residential status, second chapter residential status. So here every SSC has to pay income tax if his total income exceeds the basic exemptable limit. So that is rupees 2,50,000. If the total income exceeds 2,50,000, then he has to file income tax returns. So this income tax is charged on the income earned by SSC in the previous year. So he will earn a income in the previous year. So on that income, income tax is charged or calculated. So according to the rate fixed by Finance Act. So this tax liability is determined on the basis of his residence in India in previous year. So this is on the total income tax is calculated. So the tax liability, whether he is liable to pay income tax, it is determined on the basis of his residence in India in previous year. So that is about residential status. So the residential status of an SSC is divided into two, resident and non-resident. So in the resident, if a SSC is treated as a resident, then again it is divided into two, ordinary resident and not ordinary resident. So this residential status need not be same for each year. So it will be differ in every year. So this is calculated based on some conditions. So the rule of residential status is not same for all the SSCs like individuals, HUF, firms, company. The rule for residential status will be differ. So in the first case, in the case of individual, let's see what is the rule for residential status. So in case of individual, first one is resident, second one is same resident, non-resident, ordinarily resident and not ordinarily resident. So in case of resident, what is the rule? So here, see here, an individual is said to be a resident in India in previous year if he satisfies any one of the following basic conditions. So there are two basic conditions. In that first basic condition is he has been in India for 182 days or more during the previous year. So at present previous year is 2019 to 20, assessment year is 2020 to 21. So he has been in India for 182 days or more during the previous year, means while filing income tax in the assessment year 2020-21, it is calculated, residential status is calculated as per the previous year. If he stayed in India for 182 days in the previous year, means in the 2019-20, then he is treated as a resident in India. Or one more condition is he has been in India for 60 days or more in the during the previous year. In the during the previous year, he should be stayed in India for 60 days or more, and 365 days or more during the 4 preceding previous year. In the next previous years, he should be stayed in India. Next previous year means preceding previous year means the this is the assessment year 2020 to 21. Previous year for the assessment year 2020-21 is 2019 to 20. Next preceding previous year means next previous year, that is 2019 means 2018 to 19 is the first preceding previous year, 2017-18 is the second preceding previous year, and 2016-17 is the third preceding previous year. So likewise we have to take total 4 preceding previous year. In the 4 preceding previous year, he should be stayed in India for 365 days or more. So this is about 2 conditions. So if he satisfies any one of these basic condition, then he is treated as a resident in India in the previous year. There are some exception to the conditions. For the basic condition, there are some exceptions, means the SSC is not having, here individual is not having a option of 2 basic condition. Now we'll see the exception. Exception means there are some exception to the basic condition. In these exceptions, an individual must fulfill only the first condition. He is not having the option of two basic condition. He must be stayed in India for 182 days or more during the previous year to become a resident in a previous year. To become a resident in India in previous year, he is not having a second option to prove as a resident in India. So the exception to people are, the first one is leaving India for employment. If an individual leaves India for employment to abroad, then he must stay in India for 182 days or more during the previous year. He is not having a option of 60 days or more during the previous year to prove as a resident in India. Second point is crew member of an Indian ship leaving India. So the crew member means the people working in a Indian ship. They will leave India from port to, they will travel from port to port, so they have to they must stay in India for 182 days or more during the previous year. They are not having the second option to become a resident in India. Third one is Indian citizen living outside India. Indian or a citizen is living outside India or foreigner or visiting India, occasionally visiting India, then they must be satisfy the first condition. They must be stayed in India for 182 days or more during the previous year, but he should not they are not having the second option. That is the exception here said. So this is about resident. If he satisfies, if the people satisfies any one of the basic condition, then they are treating as a resident. For these exceptional cases, they should be stayed for 182 days during the previous year, 182 days or more during the previous year, then they are treated as a resident. Second one is non-resident. Non-resident means if an individual fails to satisfy any one of the basic condition. If here to prove as a resident, they must satisfy any one of the following basic condition. If he fails to satisfies any one of the following basic condition, then they are treated as a non-resident. Next is the resident India can be a ordinarily resident or not ordinarily resident. This is calculated like resident and ordinarily resident means to become an ordinarily resident in India, he should satisfy any one of a basic condition and both the additional condition. If he satisfies any one of a basic condition, he is treated as a resident, and if he satisfies both the additional condition, he is treated as a ordinarily resident. So now we'll see what is the additional condition. First condition is he has been in India at least 2 years out of preceding 10 previous year. The first condition is he has been in India at least 2 years. 2 years he should be in India out of preceding 10 previous year. So we have to take total 10 preceding previous year. In that 10 preceding previous year, he must be stayed in India for 2 years. Then that is one additional condition. Second additional condition is he is in India at least 730 days during the 7 preceding previous year. So we have to take 7 preceding previous year, and in the 7 preceding previous year he has been in India at least 730 days, then he is treated as a ordinarily resident. So to become a resident and ordinarily resident, he must satisfy any one of a basic condition. He must satisfy any one of a basic condition. Again, he must satisfy both the additional condition. Then he is treated as a resident and ordinarily resident. Fourth one is resident and not ordinarily resident. Means if he satisfies any one of a basic condition, if he satisfies any one of this basic condition, if he satisfies any one of the basic condition, he is treated as a resident, and if he does not satisfy both the given above condition, then he is treated not ordinarily resident. This is about a individual residential status. Next we will see the HUF. In case of HUF, the residential status is divided into four: resident, non-resident, ordinarily resident, and not ordinarily resident. So an HUF, to become a resident in India in the previous year, if the control and management of its business affair is wholly or partly situated in India in the previous year, if the control and management of a business affair is wholly or partly situated in India in previous year, then the HUF becomes a resident in India in the previous year. Second one is non-resident. If the control and management of its business affairs wholly outside India, wholly outside India means they are non-resident. Wholly or partly in India means they are resident. Wholly outside India means they are non-resident. Next, third one is ordinarily resident. If the karta of the family satisfies both the additional condition, which is the same additional condition given for individual case, if the karta of the family satisfies both the additional condition, then the HUF becomes ordinary resident. Not ordinarily resident means if a karta of family does not satisfy both the additional condition, then the HUF becomes not ordinarily resident. Next, we'll see the residential status of firms and association. So, in the case of firms and association, the residential status is divided into two: resident and non-resident. So, and firm or association to become a resident, if a control and management of its affairs wholly or partly situated in India during the previous year, then the firm or association becomes resident. If a control and management of its affairs wholly outside India, then they are becoming a non-resident. This is the same as HUF case. If it is wholly or partly situated in India, at least if it is situated in India, they will be a resident. If the wholly business affairs is wholly outside India, then they are a non-resident. Next is companies. So here there are two residential status is divided into two: resident and non-resident. So to become a resident, for company to become a resident, they must be an Indian company. If it is an Indian company or control and management wholly in India during the previous year, it must be a wholly India or it must be an Indian company. If any one of a condition satisfies, then they are a resident companies in India for the previous year. Next, non-resident. If it is not an Indian company, if it is Indian company, then resident. If it is not an Indian company, they are non-resident. Or control or management situated wholly or partly outside India, partly in India or partly outside India, then they are non-resident. Here in case of companies, the control and management should be wholly in India to become a resident. If it is partly in India, then they will become a non-resident. This is about the residential status of an assessees.